Hello everybody, my name's Atley. Welcome back to my SnowRunner hard mode playthrough. I'm just driving the Ford F750. We're in Yukon flooded foothills. And I'm driving the Ford back to the garage area. It's pitch black unfortunately, but I want to get this job done because I want to use the repair points in the Ford to repair the engine damage that I've done to my Aramatsu medium log loader. Once I've got this back to garage, we'll then crack on with some medium logging, which basically will be coming back up to this same route. And I think I'm going to buy a trailer. I've got to move 6 lots of medium logs, and at least one of those trips is quite long distance, and I don't fancy doing 6 distinct trips. So I think I'm just going to buy a medium trailer and accept the cost. I'll make a profit off the contract anyway, even if I buy a trailer. And to be honest, I have enjoyed Yukon, but I'm kind of ready to move on to another region. So I don't want to prolong the work needed to finish Yukon any more than I have to. Hopefully soon in this episode we'll be coming back up this exact same route with the Azov plus a trailer, so could be a bit of an exciting challenge. See how we do. Bit rubbish starting the episode in pitch dark, apologies for that, but I didn't want to cut the footage out completely. Try and minimise how much I do that. In general, people prefer to see everything, or as much as possible. Obviously I have to drive the truck anyway, so it's not like it takes any difference. The biggest problem is that some of the logistics of just moving around is a bit boring to talk about. So I struggle a little bit sometimes to do narration over it. But that said, it's part of the job. I love this Ford. I'm definitely going to be taking this to Wisconsin with me, possibly as the first vehicle. I've been to Wisconsin, but I'd like to go there again with a scout and open the map up properly. I just went there on a special expedition to rescue the Paystar 5600 TS. I mentioned in the last episode, there's a spot on the route to the garage that I always forget which way I'm going. There's 2 junctions where you turn left at one and right at the other, and I always get them mixed up in my head, so I'm always checking in the map. But then I speculated, I realised maybe the penny dropped a little bit too late and other people already knew this, but basically, if in doubt, follow this power line and the power line will take you to the garage. That's what I've discovered. When I was editing the footage, I thought, yeah, okay. Where I was unsure, all I needed to do was say, right, I'm following the power line now. I'm still in 2 minds. In fact, I might as well stick mud tyres on this because the next thing it's going to be doing is Wisconsin anyway. Don't think I've got any scout related stuff apart from things like I'm doing now, which is repair point and fuel rescues. I don't think I've got anything else to do with the Ford on this map. Alright, we're on the asphalt now. Terrain glitch hasn't entirely gone. There's a little bit of it happening there still. Engine off. Repair the... specifically the engine. I think that's the only bit that's got major damage. And then I'll save the 100 points I've got in my utility mount for anything else that has a more urgent need. And then the other thing I was going to do, let's have a quick look at how much fuel they need. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to fill up the Ford. This is going to look a bit weird. Bear with me. Fill up the Ford completely. That's the Ford 100% complete. Now what I'm going to do is jump into the Paystar and just nose myself out the garage to fill them up. And then I'll put it back in again. Rather than bringing 3 trucks in the garage and messing with add-ons and so on. I can just bring this out. So refuel from my add-on Forester as of myself. Can't reach the Ford. The Ford's already full. Yeah, so that fills them all up. I need to buy a trailer, don't I? Yeah, I won't leave it where it is. In the way slightly. So I'll put this back where it was. And yeah, I am going to buy a trailer. So let's just do that real quick as well. And then we'll head up to the logging camp. And I have been warned in comments that there's a unfriendly for the chin bit. So on the way, I'm kind of assuming it might be these rocky bits here. But there's a bit that's unfriendly for the Azov with its chin. I'm going to try it because my recording schedule doesn't give me the time to go up there and scout it. And I kind of like to find things out in the episode rather than scouting it all in advance anyway, as you know. So I think I'm going to try it. And if I struggle, then I'll have to maybe come up with a plan B. But I'm going to take the Azov for now. So I need to jump in the Azov to do that. So we're going to buy a $14,000 medium logging trailer, which is not my favourite thing to do. But I think it will end up making life easier overall. Put the engine. I don't buy trailers very often. Remember there's controls. It's a log trailer, that one. So it's 14 grand. Done. No going back on that now because I can't sell it in hard mode. Although I haven't actually checked that. Whether that's log trailer. I can destroy it, I can't sell it. So I've still got some hard mode related bugs from phase 8 release. So I was just gonna check there whether that was one of them and I could have sold trailers. Right, so let's see if we can tow the Aramatsu. Not entirely confident about doing this with a trailer on because it makes it a bit more complicated to tow. Get it on a relatively tight line. See how far we can get without starting its engine. Let's get up there. And we're only going to use the Aramatsu to load logs. So I'm not bothering to put a bigger engine on it or anything. When I get to the area that I think the chin issue might be, I'll raise my suspension and see how it goes. Alright, because I'm towing a trailer as well, I'm going to turn the engine on the Aramatsu. Apart from anything else, it means it'll use its engine to avoid tail-ending me like it just did. 5 points of damage on its newly repaired engine. Fairly weak engine, 160 points. I honestly don't know whether this would be quicker to just do it as 2 trips, but we'll see. And I think my attack vector for this will be, I want to get the 2 lots of medium logs down to Stevenson's house to complete the looking after your own contract. That'll give me 30 grand in income. And then I'll do the 4 lots of medium logs into the sawmill and run them out of this same place up north. And then I think, logging wise, I'll just have 2 lots of medium logs to get, or 3 lots. And that'll be, I've decided I'm going to get them from the top of the mountain here and find a route. But there's, you know, the 6 lots of medium logs to haul, which is a fair old bit to get done. That's probably 2 episodes on its own. See how we go today. And one of the things I need to test is whether the cat, as in the new cat, the special trailer one, whether that can attach normal trailers. I don't know that yet. If it can, I'll have a think about you doing the haulage of those 2 special trailers next after medium logging as my way of bringing through the long logging trailer from the other map. So suspension mode, make sure I'm on raised. No, I was on raised, fine. And I'm assuming that this is the worst of the chin bits. So let's just see how I do. Yeah. Now I think a couple of ways of thinking about this. I think if I can get it onto those stones, stones might raise my chin enough. No, no, no. Don't do that. Don't do that. That would be antisocial. So that's that bit. So going in empty, so far so good. Just got to get the line right on those stones at the start. And then coming back out this way might be a similar problem. And it looks like that should be okay though. Should be able to nose up onto that. It's not great though. And there's not a lot to try and winch yourself to. Obviously empty is going to be easier. Yeah, so that, if that's a problem going in this direction, that might be a problem going in the other direction loaded. Well, actually no, the way in to the logging camp from this side either. If I could have hugged the beach a bit there. I know there's a house around this corner. Just don't know whether that house takes me or offers me a route past the house to the log station. Can't remember, it's one of the first episodes of this series, so over 40 episodes ago, I would have been down here scouting. I think in the Yar, so it's a different proposition. Oh, that's a big old sump. That's a big old sump there. Watch out with logs on board. Gnarly, isn't it? It reinforces for me why I don't want to do lots of trips. And traders making it harder, I suppose. But yeah, is there a? No, I don't think there's a safe beach route to do that. There may be a river crossing that I'm not aware of. But again, I don't have the luxury of spending lots of time going and scouting it today. It's a funny map, this. I think there's lots of routes that you might never discover unless you actually go off and spend lots of time exploring different options. There's going to be river crossings that I just haven't found yet. Because you can't really tell from here. You need to be nose into the water to see if it'll work. Anyway, we'll park this across in roughly a position that I think the Aramatsu could then get in and load me. 2 lots. Engine off. Map. Aramatsu. So the question is whether or not I could have got a different route that made that easier. Don't think so though. Right, let's just get the Aramatsu in and get loaded. Deal with what we know. Always on, always on. Okay, diff lock is low. Always do that when I get into a truck that I don't drive a lot, because I'm not entirely sure of each truck's characteristics. So a line like that uses the rocks. You gotta be careful not to tip to the right. Don't want to be falling in that river. Yeah, I think this is the bit that's going to be difficult to come back the other way. And partly because there's no trees to winch to either. So one of the suggestions was maybe use the Aramatsu to ferry logs out and then reload them into the Azov, which is not a bad shout, but it's a lot more crane work. I don't like that sump much, to be honest. Not seeing too many alternatives though. If it wasn't for the lack of chains, I might even have brought the step pike through already and just used it for medium logs, because I think it would climb that chin restriction easier. But going up to Mr. Stevenson's house, I'm a little bit worried that the lack of chains will cause me a problem. And especially going into the sawmill, where I'm pretty sure the lack of chains would cause a problem. Right, so I'm blocking the platform slightly apparently. So get myself a bit tighter over. Probably make loading easier anyway. Loading platform 1, 2, 3. And then jolly old crane mode. Wrong button. Camera jankiness, that was my fault for hitting the wrong button. Oh, I just dropped a log on my cab. Pick up that one on the floor. Good pack, I think. Cargo, medium logs. Oh, just now it loaded, alright. Just for my own interest, let's make sure that does pack. Yep. And then Forrester just needs to move again. But still too close, so I'll just get them loaded there and move myself in. I mean, a wheel rut that isn't letting me maneuver quite the way I want to, but that'll do. Right, so unpack and repack. Now, wish me luck. I've got to get basically to here. And the route I'm going to take is going to be down to here, cross the river, and go up through there. That's pretty much the route. I won't bother with the waypoints because I know how to get to the ore sorter plant, and then from there I know the route as well. So might need some waypoints when I get up in here to make sure I don't miss the downturn. But I can get to the ore sorter without any issues. But can I get to the ore sorter without any issues? That's the question. Wish me luck. It's quite a top-heavy cargo. And on that note, actually, I am going to drop my suspension until I need it raised. Give me a little bit of an advantage. I think I'm going to need it for this trip. Just put a line in front of me, will you? I can see this stuff in front that's worth winching from. This is going to be the toughest delivery we've done for a while, I think. And I'll keep saying that I shouldn't leave logging till last. Because in general, I like to, in most walks of life, I like to get the difficult thing done first. And then you can relax your way through the rest of it a bit. I always seem to leave logging till last. I'm not quite comfortable with the lean angle I've got on that trailer there. If that's a big enough tree though. Yeah, I didn't think so. Yeah, a little bit uncomfortable with this. That's a titanium tree ahead and just see if I can move enough to get that trailer a bit more upright. There's a rock underneath the trailer's wheel. It's causing that trouble. I'm in low high. I don't think I'm particularly wheel spinning much. Chains aren't the best necessarily, but there's other parts of this trip where I do think chains would be useful. Right, I don't like this stump. I'm not entirely sure if I've got the room. Have I got the room there to go to the right of the sump and miss it entirely? Is that a bit too dodgy? I want to fall into the sump from a high angle. I'll drop a trailer, aren't I? Bad idea. Should have just straight lined that sump, but have I got away with it? Unpack, repack. I have got away with it. So note to self, next time just straight line the sump, because although the sump is unpleasant, straight line will avoid the camber. And then now I'm cambering because I'm in the wheel ruts, but the wheel ruts are just a bit softer on one side than the other, maybe. This is more stress than a contest, and it's going to last a lot longer. I have to have a lie down after this one. And then the next challenge is the chin that I was fair warned about. I was warned there's a problem with the chin on a certain area, and I think I'm coming up to that area now. So if this ends up terribly, then it's obviously my fault, but we'll give it a go. And this is, so handbrake on, let's raise my suspension because this is exactly what raise suspension is for. Brake off. Let's see how we do. Trying to get over that. No. Up a little bit. If I can. My days. This is high stress, people. Blimey. Let's get a screenshot of that. Handbrake. Quick photo opportunity. I had a little bit of luck with that sump camber that I didn't drop the trailer in it, and then the trailer didn't pull me right over. That's a bit of a game mechanic luck thing though, because when those logs unpacked, that trailer suddenly became a lot lighter and therefore less likely to pull me over. If those logs had not unpacked until it was on its side, then I would have gone over with it, I'm sure. A bit of luck as well that I managed to get a rope on just at the right part. Watch your camber. Lights back on because it's coming into dark. Right, so I'm not sure of the route that I will take into the sawmill when I eventually do the sawmill, whether it's up there or somewhere else. Oh, there's the Tiger. I forgot the Tiger was parked there. That could have come and helped me a bit as well, if I needed it. Right, so this is another sump, but this one I know that I've got a bit more space by the side of it. But I still need to be careful not to hit a bad camber on it. And it is a pretty unpleasant sump, so it is worth the effort of trying to avoid it. Looking at the recording already. Oh, no. I'll tell you what. Let's get level again, but I need to lower that suspension. I forgot to do that when I got off the rocks. Looking at the length of this recording, I might only get one delivery done today. Even if it goes well, I think I'm going to be about the right length of recording once I've got this to Stevenson's house. I'll take some fuel out of the Ford because the Ford can get in to refuel quicker than I can. And then I'll refuel the Ford as a separate endeavour. Crack on. Keep heading south. Bit of terrain glitch there. I do think the terrain glitch is better, but it's not entirely fixed. From what I understand, it's probably a AMD Radeon problem to fix anyway, rather than a SnowRunner necessarily. I've just mainly on this bit, I know the road, I'm just going to be careful not to hit any bad cambers that I don't normally worry about. And there is one particular area where I know there's a bad camber I've got to be careful of. Not cutting a corner. It's coming in the dark, so I can't see the terrain so well anyway. Alright, I don't like the way I'm starting to lean, so steer to the right a little bit. And then, is this the bad corner? Yeah, I think it is. So I just want to go wide enough here, because I know this isn't a great corner. Be so careful that the winches don't give me too much pull in the wrong direction and tip me over. Blimey. I'm far enough away from the Aramatsu that part of the stress is that if I do tip it, I need something else to come with a loading crane to load me up again. Because I'm not slogging the Aramatsu all the way back down here again. Won't be so bad, although it's harder to get into the sawmill maybe. It's a shorter drive. So this is a bit that I do normally go off to the left to avoid the puddle, but I think straight line in the puddle is probably my safer bet this time. From a camber perspective. It's typical that we're doing pretty much the whole thing in the dark, isn't it? Right, and now we gotta leave the road somewhere to the right, cross the river, as we've done before, but not with cargo of this severity. I also don't necessarily like the way that some of these rocks will interact with my suspension. Interested in hearing whether you guys use this same route for this particular job. What your thoughts are on the route choice. I'm not sure there's much choice, to be honest. Didn't fancy coming in from the north, but that's maybe just because I don't know the route from the north so well, and maybe it would have been better if I knew it. Maybe this is an example of where I'll need to put it back into raised. Yeah, quite a difference, isn't it? Right. Now this is not going to be trivial either. I'm going to lower that suspension again, though. I might run out of fuel before I get this done. No, let's raise it. Time is it? Is that sky lightning or is that wishful thinking? It's 2 AM, so we're probably gonna be pitch dark all the way there. So I know I got to turn right, and then I think there's going to be a right again. No, 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 no. Level off a little bit. Thought that trailer was going to go then. Not heard of it yet. Right, and then it's right again, because if I go left, that's up to the little camp where I had to take the Scout 800. This is Mr. Stevenson's house, where we brought the Scout fuel, or Scout trailer with some wooden planks. And last time I came through here, I decided I didn't fancy going through that twisty little bit, and I just went straight through these two trees and across his yard. And that is going to be what I'll do again. Careful though. Wow. Last two loads of looking after our own. We've supplied the wood on time, so no one will freeze in their own forest cabin. Almost $31,000, so definitely worth it. But blimey, that was high stress for me. Based on the length of the recording, I'm at least going to get this most of the way out. A little bit. These trailers aren't as bad as the other ones, but I still don't want to tip over with it. Got a dolly trailer at the end of the day. Still bloody hate them. But I am going to drive back out the same way. Obviously less stress, because I don't have cargo that I can drop. But if I tip over, I've still got to bring another truck in to rescue me. It's still not wonderful. I also might run out of fuel on the way out, so that's a concern as well. But we're going to go as far as we can and then we'll see. I would not have done cab view. I know it's better visibility for you guys, but I would not have done cab view with the logs on the back because I think it's a bit too dangerous. But for some of the drive out, I'll try and do a bit of cab view. Oh, I can't see a damn thing over that edge. I hope I'm pointing in the right direction. Pretty sure my suspension is up. Let's check that. I don't think I lowered it again. Yeah, it was up. I wonder what it'd be like if you had one of those sim rig seats that articulate. It'd be throwing you all over the place doing this type of driving, wouldn't it? So this truck next job is back to the same logging camp, load up 2 more lots of medium logs, come back out the same, and then instead of coming back down here, go off to the sawmill, which I've never actually been to in anything except a scout. So maybe I should scout the route up to it so that I know which way I would want to go. Right, there we go. Back on terrain we know. Let's not be complacent and do something stupid, but let's get back up to the garage. This is definitely going to be the last thing I'll do is get to the garage. I'm not going to be going to the logging camp and loading up and coming out again because I just don't have time on the episode. But it is good to have completed kind of garage to garage round trip of doing those 2 logs with a trailer. And I definitely think the trailer, well, you know, obviously it worked out, right? If I'd have tipped over and been a complete mess, I might have been cursing my decision to get a trailer. But it worked. It was pretty high stress. I think I'm going to give myself a pat on the back. You know, I'm a bit harsh on myself sometimes, quite often. But I think that time I took my time. I wasn't rushing it. I was a little bit lucky in a couple of spots, but I wasn't going crazy fast, and I got away with it. So I'm going to give myself a little pat on the back. I don't do a lot of cab view stuff, but one of the things I like about it, using a steering wheel with it, is how accurately the wheel tracks the in-game wheel. It does look pretty impressive. It's just you don't get the good enough visibility. If I had a VR headset that worked with this game, that would be a different matter. It'd be quite cool to be in cab view all the time then. I had a look at my Zix 605 on the map, and it's got 7% fuel in its tank, and I think its add-ons are empty. So somehow I need to get the crocodile to it rather than trying to get it out, which is going to be fun. Might do that next episode. I can't remember where my Tatra Force is either. Well, I'm going to have to find it because I think I'll need it in Big Salmon Peak to help pull the special ore trailers up the icy road part. I think the Tatra Force is the biggest vehicle I've got that can take chains. I might be running out of fuel. That feels a bit like a fuel starvation problem. I got 15 litres. I can go a little bit further. I'm nearly out of the garage. Not going to make it to the garage though, so I may as well just stop and let the Ford come and get me. But will I make the asphalt? There we go. Out of fuel. So the Ford can come and get me. Let's do that now for completeness. The scale of vehicles is quite funny, isn't it? I'd love to see an equivalent real pair of these vehicles side by side in the real world. Because when you look at it, this Ford looks almost as big, if not bigger, than that Azov. I know the Azov's in mud and the Fords are not. Yeah. Refuel my utility amount. Just put 50 litres in. And then I'm just going to tow it back. I'm not actually towing it. I'm going to use its engine. I'm just using... Wouldn't it let me... There we go. So I'm not going to tow it. I'm just doing assisted steerage. Get it back to the garage and I'll refuel it properly at the start of the next episode. But at least I will have got it round trip, start to finish, parked outside the garage and back to the same location. I haven't left it stranded. So, engine off. Drop the tow rope. I just want to check something that somebody mentioned in comments while I think about it. Because otherwise my goldfish brain will forget. Somebody mentioned add-ons for this Ford. I've got the custom, which is the one that does the bed. I wonder if this one... Oh, it can be put on as well. But I thought that was an either or. Small roof rack. I wonder why I thought that. I'm going to buy that. $2,300. I know it'll be empty now. Or I suspect it'll be empty now. It's got a tyre. But that gives me another 100 litres of fuel that I'm carrying in this truck. Which is great. And yeah, thank you very much for the comment that mentioned that, because I did not notice that. I thought they were mutually exclusive. I thought you either had the custom or the roof rack. I didn't realise that you could have both. So that's brilliant. Refuel. So the small roof rack, utility mount, and then that's the Ford main tank needs filling. And I can do that by changing into there. Then that Ford has now got 470 litres of fuel. If my quick arithmetic worked. Maybe not though. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's an extra 100 litres that I haven't been carrying in this truck. So thank you very much for the comment that told me about that. And then I also now need to... This truck needs to go and get repair points. Does that thing carry repair points as well? Sure it does. Yeah, small roof rack, just tyres, but it's got 2. Oh, that's pretty cool. I'm happy with that. That's a good refueling, mobile refueling station then. Right, okay, so get away from that horrible radio. Put myself out here to get away from the... try and get away from the radio. I don't want any copyright strikes, thank you very much, because you're playing some tune that you haven't licensed. So that is going to be a wrap for this episode. In the next episode, we will take this rig back up into the logging camp, reload again, and get over into the sawmill. So that's that'll be the first trip into the sawmill. But we've just got another contract completed, which has taken several episodes to do because it's quite a lot of work that contract, quite a lot of medium logs to shift around. Has it been 3 episodes of logging to do them just to do that one contract? So I hope you enjoyed the episode. Thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you in the next episode. In the meantime, thanks and goodbye.